Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name's Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today we're taking a look at Tekno by Baby Audio. It's a drum synthesis tool. So let's go. Oh, what's going on? I'm Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And of course, I hope you are doing okay. Yes, indeed. Now, I feel like I've got this little problem here that I need to address, and I should have done it just before the show. Let's see. Give me a second, guys, because I'm trying out this new thing. Just give me a second, right? It'll take 1 second. I'm just going to mute myself. Okay, am I back? Much better. Sorry about that. That seems better. So I just got a new cable for my mic, and it sounds really weird. So I had to bounce back to the original thing. So sorry about the little noise you heard there. I accidentally kicked the lead. But here we are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, if you have already caught the show I did today, you may be angry about what I've already said. I did a show earlier on this. So Apple have just released the brand new Creator Studio. Well, it's not out yet. It's coming January 28th, and it's this whole new subscription. And if you want to go back and watch it, I just did a stream on it. If you're not interested in my opinion, only watch up to the halfway point. If you're interested in my opinion, which is going to offend you, it's going to offend a lot of people. Oh, I don't really care. That's what this channel's about. Then watch it all. Watch the second half, and you'll hear my feelings on what I think about this new Creator Studio bizzo thing. Because we've all got more money to spend, don't we? So I just did that. But today we are covering now Baby Audio's new app, and I love this app. I think it's great. It's got a couple of problems, and I'll talk about it. I really don't like talking about issues with apps, but I feel there's a couple of things that need to be addressed with this app, and I will talk about those. But apart from that, I think it's spectacular. I think it's got some great sounds in it. The workflows are really easy. It's just been added as a sequencer in the latest update. It's already been out on desktop for a period of time, a long period of time. And with its update that just came 1.1 on desktop, it got released on iPad with these new sounds, and it's with the new sequencer, right? So there's heaps of customization. There's a lot for your buck, and it's on sale as well at the moment. So let's say hello to folks who are here. Welcome aboard if you're watching live, and if you're watching on the replay, welcome to you as well. Thomas Christ, g'day. Professor Boomer, Denise Lance, hello. MC Like It Dark. You can do all these things to help out the channel. MC Like It Dark has already bought it. I think it's great. Everything Baby Audio does. But why do they assume everyone has some kind of Superman vision? Well, all right, let's talk about this now. We'll just cover this here. These are other things you can do to help the channel. Patreon, become a member, buy some merch, all this kind of stuff. Thomas, thankfully, puts all this stuff in there at the start of the show, and we get it all out the way. And there's my Creator Studio video. It's not going to, a lot of people are going to get upset with my opinions. I don't really give a fuck, all right? This channel has always been based on truth. And I'm not going to like sugarcoat stuff. It just is what it is. Like, we're here to make music. We're here to create stuff. And we don't want things to get in our way, especially money, right? This sounds tops for dance music. This is good for a lot of stuff for us. Hello, Alex Backus. G'day, Hugh Caldwell. Hello, James Myers Drums. Look, there's not enough truth, mate, here on YouTube. There's a lot of arse lickers on this platform who just will, praise everything Apple does, and it's just not true, right? It's just not true. They're dropping the ball on a lot of things, and I don't give a shit. It's my opinion, and you can either like it or lump it. That's the way it rolls, my friends. We've all got opinions. It's all good. But let's talk about this. So Baby Audio have, now, I'm going to be completely clear. Now, Baby Audio aren't sponsoring this video. They haven't paid me for this at all, right? They give me a couple of codes to give away on Patreon, which I've had, been able to do this. Of course, they've given me a code to do this show. Now, they are sponsors of my other show, Unearthed, right? But that has no influence on any of this. But with Baby Audio apps, for the longest time, right, people have gone, we want desktop apps on our iPads. And yeah, we do. Right? I feel like we're missing out because the iPad has so much power and it's able to render this stuff. But here's the kicker, right? Here's the thing that we don't think about enough and we don't talk about enough, especially for our developers. Now, I like to think I have good relationships with the developers on iOS, right? I like to think so. So much so, some of them are sponsoring the other show I do, which is promoting people's music. Because what better way to get your apps out to musicians than to... Anyway. The thing is, with iOS, compared to desktop has had this thing going on for the longest time. They release an app, then it gets an update, and then you normally either pay extra to get that update, to get all those new features, and the price of desktop apps is, really high, up $80 to $100 to $200. And on iOS, after the race to the bottom, the prices are still super cheap. And there's this notion for iOS developers that once they release an app, that they owe you forever free updates. And it's ridiculous to expect somebody to make something and then just give you free updates for 10 years and you never give anything back. It's a ridiculous notion. And it's something that's got to change at some point, right? There's got to be some way to implement this. And because of this, companies like Baby Audio, they're going to port the app that is on desktop to iOS. So we get a size, the size of the apps, the writing and the text and the buttons for a lot of Baby Audio apps. And it's not only Baby Audio, right? They're very small. But who's going to pay for the team to go and reimagine this thing? Who's gonna pay for the extra people that you need to have to make this an iOS specific app? And then even if you do that, right, you're going to get the people who are going to go, but it's not exactly the same as the one on desktop. You see where we are here, right? Like people want cheap apps on iOS. They don't want to pay that's one of the bonuses of iOS. And then they want like everything to be like custom made from desktop. And I get it. I got glasses as well too. The vision, it's a tough thing, right? What's the answer? I don't know. The amazing thing is we have these apps on iOS, right? So it's a small price to pay. I don't know what to say. I don't know what the answer is. But what I can say is it's a really good app, and we're going to take a look at it today. If Dots, hello. And Ed Zielinski, g'day. So it's on sale. Initially, it's $19.99. It will go up, right? I don't know what the date is and when that's going to happen. Most of the time, it will go up an extra $10 and will become $29.99, I'm presuming. But that is the intro price. Again, I don't know when it's going to go up. So if you're going to get on it, you're going to get on it. If you are a patron of mine for over $5, yeah, I've got a couple of copies to give away. So there is that. It works on iPad and iPhone. It is not a Mac app. You can get a hold of this on desktop. Now, remember the price we just looked at there, right? Remember the price. Because on desktop, this is the Australian price. So take maybe $30. I'm assuming it's probably $99. That's a guess. $121.29 for virtually the exact same app. A few things are missing, obviously, because, iOS has some limitations with like exporting drum sounds into the DAW kind of thing, or exporting sequences, which you can do on the desktop version. But there it is. There's that price comparison. Somebody would have to, somebody's got to pay in the end, right? To make a conversion that's going to be iOS specific, that is the right size and the right touchability and all that kind of stuff. Somebody's got to pay for it at the end of the day. There's got to be money somewhere. And as it stands, we're getting a direct one-to-one port. I don't know what the answer is. Ultimately, though, great app. And we're going to show you how good it is. Now, I will kick off just by playing something here. This is so simple, right? What I'm going to play. I've just thrown together a sequence in here. I've randomized it. I haven't even thought about it, right? Haven't even thought about it. Nothing. I've just done a randomization, and I've just thrown in, like in pure acid, just a bass, just some sound, and remove the drums, and let's hear it. Awesome, awesome. Tremor Bear, what's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's clear this out of here. In fact, we don't need to clear it. Let's just hit the init patch. We're on our init. Let's hit init. Let's come over here just quickly and just clear out the sequence. So we're starting completely clean. So for the longest time, this was out just as is, right? And it didn't have this little sequencer button down here. The sequence is new on desktop. This has been added. On iOS, it's out with the debut release. I want to talk about this bug. There's a couple of little things here that there's a bug, right? On the desktop version, see this little eyedropper up here? This is used on the desktop version to drag a sequence that you've created in here, right? So here's a sequence. You've got two sections down here, and I would use this to drag the MIDI notes into my DAW. I want to show you what happens when I press it now. You ready? It crashed. And not only has it crashed, it's crashed in such a monumental way that you need to reload AUM completely. I can't just go in here and go boom and reload it. Because look what happens. Oh, it's actually working. Oh, it didn't do this earlier. I couldn't tap any of these when I would reload it. But so there's a crash. Straight away, there's a crash. And so that is a problem. If we come over here again, tap this, boom, it's gone. All right, so there's your crash. Hopefully we can fix this, get it all sorted. Let's see if this comes back. Now, here we go. Look. This is the problem. So now when I tap on this, nothing's happening. I can't change anything. This is the result of it crashing. So no matter what I do, even if I kill the track like this and then bring it back in, and hey, don't panic. This will get fixed, right? This is why I'm showing it on this video, because Baby Audio will see again, even when I kill the track and come here, nothing. I can't tap on anything. So the only way to fix this is to go out. And the same thing happens in Logic as well, or in any DAW, right? It's a bug, and it will get fixed. Don't go and leave a review on the... They'll see it, right? They'll see it, and it'll get fixed. It'll be not a problem at all. This happens, right? I wonder if Samuel Lindemann was beta testing this. He said he was in the last video. Samuel, why didn't you pick this up, dude? Seems though you're an expert beta tester. Unbelievable. How could you have not picked that up? Right? He was in my chat in the last video going on about how he beta tested this. Anyway, whatever. That's cool. Right, so here we are. The other thing I want to talk about quickly is when I have this loaded up in a DAW and I want to use these pads, right? Because this is a pad touch thing, right? I can come in here and go, and I can play it. For some reason in the DAW, if I'm recording into Logic, it's not recording these notes. When I tap here, it's not recording any of the MIDI. I have tried everything. GarageBand, it doesn't do it. It doesn't do it in Logic. We need to get that sorted, Baby Audio, because there's a lot of people out there who play And I can't seem to, in Logic, get the sequencer to record notes into any other way as well. The good news is with this that in AUM, you can actually load this. Hey, Clayton Von Kluge, you can actually load this as a MIDI instrument, right? So if we do look for Tekno, hang on, it let me before. What? Maybe. Oh, it's because I went here, right? So you got to do it here. Tekno, there we go. So you can load it as an instrument here and use the sequencer to go out, right? But you're not going to hear sounds, obviously, because we're loading it here in this MIDI section. So that can be done, but it doesn't work in Logic. So you can load it here in this, but you can't do it in Logic. So there is that. So they're just couple of things I want to get out the way and talk about, because I don't want to hover on this and say this is a deal breaker or any problems like this, right? And there we go. So let's talk about it. So we've got, this is drums. And what's nice too, each across the top here, and I think it's up to the tom as well. So you got two toms. You got two kicks, two different kicks. And they both have different synth engines. Now, these aren't samples. This is, these synth engines. You can manipulate these how you want. And you can see we've got a kick A, kick B, we've got a snare A, snare B, hat A, hat B, and an open hat. Then we've got a tom, high tom, low tom, claps, rim shot, conga, ride, tonal. Now, tonal's really fun. You could add like an LFO to this and get this to automate and go up and down. Right, you can get this to LFO and change as you go. So that's really fun. Tom, we've got a cowbell, got a block, got a crash. So they're your pads, right? Nice stuff. Let's go across from the top. We've got some settings over here. Routing, good times. There is multi-out routing. Really cool the way it works as well too. I really like this. So you can just come over and pick which ones you want to route out. So you'd say like bus 1 would be kick A, snare A would be bus 2, hat A would be bus 3. You can actually individually pick these, right? So now if I open up an audio track here and create a multi-bus instance and choose Tekno and then just duplicate these a couple more times. All right, so we've got 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. And now you see how we've done kick A, we've done snare A, and we've done hat A that are going to buses. So now if I come over to the sequencer and just put in a 4 on the floor, we'll get to the sequencer. Snare A we'll throw in here, and we'll do hat A. We'll just do some randoms in here, or we'll just even hit the randomizer. Now when I hit play, multi-out, easy as chips. They've done a great job on the multi-out. I really like that. It's implemented very, very well. Top job, baby. Audio. So we'll kill these. Let's just kill them, goodbye. Kill them with care, goodbye. And come back here. Now you'll notice, playing this, you can't hear these because we have them going out, but you can hear the reverb. So you'll need to come back in here to your routing and change these back to main. Right, so you can see that sound comes back. Just remember that, Rhett, what's going on. So yeah, and what's also cool is you would have heard then we had reverb. You can actually send the reverb out to a bus as well if you like. So you can send this out to its own bus, the main reverb. So that's nice to have, really good stuff. We've got velocity controls here. So we've got velocity controls over here. We've got swing controls. So you can come in and change the overall swing amount and the rhythm. We've got choke groups. So you can set a whole bunch of these pads to, you've got 4 choke groups, and you can send a whole bunch of them to all one choke group. Really easy to navigate. And if you're running an old iPad and you want to avoid the animations, just turn the animations off. If you want to save some power, it doesn't really seem to be taking up too much a DSP, so that's a good thing. Jamie Lynn, hope you're doing well. Good to see you. So there are your settings. Not a lot going on there. In the desktop version, there's a whole lot more settings. MIDI routing, let's talk about this. I love the MIDI routing here. What's really nice is you can save your MIDI choices. So for example, let's jump over to an overhead view. I might want to use this. I might want to use a launch pad. Now, this particular launch pad setup, I created this myself, which works on a multiple. These pads are set for different setups for different apps, right? This took a long time to set up, but you have like, Note custom stuff for this. Now, to customize, what's really cool is it's super easy. All I need to do is tap on the pencil here. We'll just show you the full screen. So you tap on MIDI, and then you can see what notes these are assigned to. And then I can come in, tap the pencil, come back over here to my whatever interface, and you can see that's just changed it. Next one, bop. Next one, bop. Next one, bop. You can come in. Now, these are already assigned to multiple things here, right? So, but you can come in, really easy to change these up. Super easy. And then when you're finished, just move this out the way. When you're finished, changing these up to whatever keys you want them to be, you can just hit save and save the name of your preset. All right, so I would call this whatever, Jade's pad, whatever. Hit the tick, and then when you come over here, you can see you've got your default, which will bring it. You've always got a default to come back to, and then I can come over to Jade's pad. Wicked stuff. Sander Wolf, I hope you're doing all right. So really, really, I love this feature. I think that's really good. I think more drum apps should have this, so I can easily map things out. Like, that's the easiest mapping I've ever seen for a drum app. And then to be able to save that and then open it up in Logic and continue on. Thank you. Good stuff. Well done. Let's head back and load up this original configuration. So that's the MIDI learn over there. Of course, we have here our presets. Lovely. So you've got a shitload of presets in here, factory presets. And these just include drums. I don't think there's any sequences with these. So if I choose one of these and then come over to sequence, we'll just clear this out. Choose one, come back. There's no sequences. But from what I do believe, if you save something, and we'll try it out right now. If I hit the random here and create a random sequence and then save this as my own preset, let's see if it does save it. So Jade's preset and confirm. I spelt preset wrong. I love it. And we'll tap. I'm going to clear that. Let's see if it does actually remember the sequencer. I don't know. No, it doesn't. So there, we're clear on that. I've loaded up my preset. It does not save. That would be a great feature as well, too, to be able to save those, to be able to save your sequences that you make. That would be ace, but we'll come back to the sequencer shortly. So that's your preset stuff. Here's your user. Here's your factory stuff. You've got some randomization, so it will pick a random. That's how the random button here works. So you can delete stuff as well. You can search, all the usual stuff you would find in a preset folder section. You know what I mean? You can actually skip through these as well too with the arrows back and forward. And you also, to the side here, have some randomization options. So you can just hit random and it'll choose a whole bunch of random things. Let's create a random sequence so I can show you. We'll come back over here, hit play. And we can randomize all the pads on here. And when you do this, pay attention, it randomizes everything. Effects, synthesis, you'll see everything changes down here, right? But none of this will change. Our master section. So this is all just for pads, synthesis, and effects, right? Now, I might not want to change all of these. I might just want to change a few of them for the randomization. You've got a lock button. I might want to say lock, 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 lock. And now when I hit, none of these are going to randomize because of the locking function I have selected. Tap again to turn off the locks. And we're off, right? Ready to go. Now you can see I've got the animation turned off over here. So let's turn that back on. This is the animation, the pads, and this little thing over here. All right, now each of these pads have their own randomization as well too. So you can see above this pad, if I tap on this one, the little random button appears, and you can randomize these individually. Let's random the kick. And you can see what it does. It randomizes all of this, the effects, the synthesis. The amount of randomization in this is just, and I'll tell you what, it's pretty good. Like it's not often there's a lot of things that have randomization these days and you hit it and go, why the fuck? Why can it never give me anything good? I don't think all apps need randomization. I know it's, not all of them need it, but this works really well. You can tell they put a lot of work into the randomization stuff to generate some good stuff, right? All right, now, each of these pads, when you tap them, give you individual functions down here. So all of them have a synthesize and an effects section. And when you also have over here the ability to choose different samples. So see how, let's just click off and click A. You'll see here, it shows you what we're on here, what pad. The randomization stuff's up here. If I tap this little dial, here are all the samples or synthesis options I can choose from, or presets we should say, right? So I can come in and choose this, or I can go left and right. Right? So you've got the ability to go in. You've got randomization here as well too. Let's just hit play and we'll come to our mix and we'll solo this kick. So we're just getting this kick, right? So with each of these instruments, we have options down here with synthesis. We have pitch, and you can see when you hover over it, I'll get out the way, it shows you what note it is. So you can see E1, we can pitch this up and down. We can change the length, tighten it right up. Now, the thing is with these sliders, just play with them. You'll see what they do. Changes the shape, the click, so it changes the hertz of these. You can see as you drag 300 hertz to 7 kilohertz, right? And you can tame this in, right? So you can, a lot of high end, or you can pull it way back to 50 hertz, right? So it's almost equalizer. Again, this has randomization. So you can just randomize to your heart's content. And you have extended options over here anytime you see a cog. So when I click on the cog, we've got all these options that open over here. We've got some drive options. So you got 3 drives. So this is the resonator, dampening, And you can get right in and just, play around to your heart's content. And we've got this humanize. You can take off the humanize. So there's humanize options now on all of these things. And humanize is obviously going to add a little bit of lag and a little bit of stuff like that to it to give it that human feel. Take it off the grid a little bit. If you want to take that off, that's completely up to you. So you do have those options there. So they're your options for the synthesize. Now what you will notice is if I click from this kick to this cowbell, you've got different options down here. So it depends on the pad that you touch. So this conga has decay, slap, and pulse. The rim shot has 2 pitches, a decay, snappy, and a cutoff. Right? So they've all got different things going on. Let's come back over to our kick because they've got effects as well. We've got a sub. We've got an exciter, just to brighten things up. We've got a tilt, right? So an EQ, tilt EQ. You can add saturation, bit of grit in there. And we've got reverb. Now with the reverb, let's be very clear on this. I'll bring myself back very clear on the reverb here, that this is controlled by a master reverb, okay? And that is found over here. So whatever is discussed, decided, controlled in this section, this is the master calibration for the reverb, which works across everything that you'll find in here. And, there's your typical stuff. You've got your level, your width. Let's bring up this reverb full. Right, level, dampening, your low cut, high cut, crossover, all the stuff you would expect to find. You've got some modulation in here as well too. Pre, the size, the decay, but that will affect everything that is in this here. It is a master reverb, so you're very clear on that. And you can randomize all of this as well. Right? Completely randomize all of that. You can reset it back to factory result by hitting the little arrow here. Or just randomize the shit out of it. Happy days. Close it by tapping the reverb over here and you back out. Again, you can randomize all of this. And we've got a cog over here too. So this will give you a deeper dive into all of these effects here. So you can get right into the sub harmonics. You've got a high pass, low pass, attack, release, the depth of your harmonics, sub harmonics, right? You've got so the controls for the exciter, which is over here, the controls for the tilt, frequencies, the amount of gain when you control the exciter, saturation, which is over here, how much, the bias, bass. So there's a lot of options in here, right? We've got our filter. So you've got a low cut, high cut, resonance, right? Go for your life. You know the deal. Transient shaper. And there's no humanization in here as well too. Now just on, while we're talking about the filters, sorry, what was I going to go from here? I had something I was going to say from here and I can't remember. So, you've got randomization in here as well too. You can randomize all this stuff. Hit the reset and it'll all go back to normal. Let's come into the mixer and bring everything back in. All right, now that we've got, just going to stop it for a second. Now that we've got a rhythm here, let's just come into the sequencer, and I want to make sure with our hat B, let's just put in a crap ton of hats in here. We'll just fill it all up, right? Fill her up. And now I want to talk about the kick, and because we've got some ducking options over here. So now that we're on the kick, actually we'll click on the hi-hat. We've got, and you'll see this changes over to hi-hat, and you'll see this big duck button. You can come down here and set your ducking to whatever you like, right? So I can set this to kick A, and now if I turn up this ducking and hit play, those hats are going to duck underneath every time a kick is triggered, right? And when I turn that down, you can hear all those kicks. And you can set your ducking to whatever you want. You can set things all over the place, ducking to whatever you want, right? Great, super easy for ducking. Lovely stuff. There's a lot to love about this app, I reckon. There's a lot of really, really cool, simple implementations of stuff. Of course, we have some panning. So you can hear I've panned the hats now. Let's take out this ducking. So we've got our hats over to the left, hats over to the right. We've got volume or gain over here. You can solo. You can mute. You can randomize. Pick a random hat anytime you want. And if you create a new sound, say we've come over, let's solo this hat. And let's mess about with it, because the hat has some brightness with the synthesis, the depth. We can bring the cutoff down, add some reverb to it. So we've created a whole new hat here. G'day, covered by CQ. I might want to save this now. You can save these individual presets. So we'll call it Jade's hat. Hit the button, and now in our list of stuff over here, when we tap, got our init patch, and it should be under J, I do believe. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. You can save your own sounds in here as well too. So go back over here to these hats and back to my hat that I have created. Nice, huh? I like that. Randomization, lots of good stuff. Goody, goody gumdrops. Who says that in 2026? Me. Deal with it. All right. Where are we up to? Let's talk about the mixer. We've got a mixer over here as well too. This is your mixer. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. You've got all of your instruments here, 2 kicks, 2 snares, 2 hats. You can see they're all named at the top. When you hover over them, you can see the... How do I do it? I was getting it to work before. Anyway, you can come in here and tap the pencil and get into all of the options of each part from here as well too. Same thing as when you click down here. There we go, the subharmonics. So you can get into that from over here. Tap. So you'll bring up these down here, right? Good stuff. Commute, solo, change the levels. Pretty standard stuff for a mix, right? As I said, the reverb is a master reverb, so it controls any of this for each track, so be aware of that. Humanization. Now, humanization is controlled in this master section. If I turn this up, it should start to do things, but as you'll see, I've turned down the master calibration, and you can find the humanized calibration in this button over here. Let's turn up the parameters. Now, a lot of it's gonna be subtle. This one will change the timing. So you can hear that's slightly out of time and lagging. So this will work on the lag. Let's bring it back. So it's not swing, it's just adding like lag for humanization. And then you've got accent over here, which is gonna work on velocities and push some velocities. Now all this can be controlled by this dial here. So no matter what is turned up here, say we have 20% here, 70% here, all this is going to depend on how much you push this level here, right? But a lot of humanization stuff in there too, if you're into that. Plus you can also just randomize the shit out of it. Hit reset, it'll give you the basic, the init parameters for the humanization. We've also got in this master section over here, let's just close the human. We've got an overall filter. Which has sliders both up and down for high and low filter pass. There's a limiter. We've got a clipper, which will push everything. We'll cut off the top of the wave file, add some distortion, add a bit of saturation, a bit of grit, a bit of dirt, bit of filth, coupled with the limiter. And you've got your overall output over here as well. You can get to these master settings down the bottom here, which offers you some velocity lows, clip ceilings, so filter cues, duck releases for ducking. You got your limiter drive, limiter knee. So all of your limiter settings are all found in here for your master. Easy to find. Pretty simple to get around, right? It's really well implemented. I have to admit, it's a very nice app. Small, like we discussed, buttons are small. What are you going to do, eh? Let's talk about the sequencer. Let's stop it. Let's clear this out. So we do have a sequencer. Remember what I said at the start of the show? At the moment, don't type this. It'll cause problems. So the sequencer here, it's pretty neat. You've got two sections. You'll see this little bar to the side here. This gives you the first half of your pads. So your kick all the way to tom, to your high tom. And then when you tap it, don't do what I did. I sat here for ages trying to drag this. I'm like, why is it not dragging? You just tap. So they're your two halves you can tap between. So here you've got your claps, rim shot, congas, ride, tonal. Now remember, you don't even need to use the sequencer in here. You can use a sequencer in Logic, or you can use any other sequencer and send data into this as well. You don't even need to use this. It's just there if you'd like to. Happy days. You can set this off. You can turn it off completely and you'll see everything gets grayed out when you tap this little off button up here. You can make it free running. So it will not be connected to the door. So I can come in here, drag up and down and change the BPM. So I can have like running in here, something that is set to 120 BPM. And in here, I could come in and set this to 60 BPM. Free running, right? You can do any of that. Or we can come back and tap door and it'll reset back to 120. So that's all good. Now, each of these tracks to select, you just tap the name. And you'll see everything change down the bottom here. You can see that change, nice and easy. Let's come back up the top here. Boom, easy enough to change. Each of these lanes has their own individual randomization. Boom. Now on the desktop version, if you hold down the option button and tap the randomization, you get a bit deeper randomization. I don't know if that works for this. I've tried it. I don't see any difference. So I'm assuming that doesn't work. Yeah, I don't know. Now it seems to have stopped doing everything there. So there's that. I'm tapping option. I don't know if that's a thing. It doesn't really tell me. You can clear these out as well too. Don't forget you can draw these in. So you don't need to just randomize everything. You can draw them in. And if you hold down, you can drag up the velocity all the way up to 100. for these, so very easy. Tap again, they'll delete. Whatever you add will be at 50 when you tap them in. Hit play. Right. Let's just get a 4 on the floor going. Oop. Easy stuff. You've got some randomized, and you can actually speed these up as 2 and slow them down. So see over here, this has got a 1+. We can double time it and we can half time it. Right, so there's the opportunity for some really interesting polyrhythms you can get going, because there's further customization you can do too. Let's just bring this back up to 1. So we've got our 4 kicks. Let's bring in some snares with snare A. Happy. What do those randomized buttons do on the wall behind you? Funny. These ones. That's a nice pickup. I never thought about that before. They randomized my life. So we've got our 4 on the floor happening here. That made me laugh. We can instantly pick up things, half time it, right? And see underneath here, there's even a chance dial. So if I pull this down, not everything's going to play. This is your chance stuff that you can dial in. So the higher you dial it up, the more chance everything's going to play. If you dial it up all the way, everything's going to play, right? Now let's throw in some random stuff. We'll do an open hat, some toms. Let's go down here. We've got some claps. We'll do a tonal, maybe a cowbell. See, I hit option that time and I got more stuff. I don't know if it works, but right, we're off. Hey, I have an idea. So we've got something happening here. Let's talk about these sections up here, because not only can you come in and change the speed of individual lanes, like let's do these snares half. Right? You can come in and tap this button here and look at this. It'll block everything from here. It'll block everything from here. So you can really start getting some polyrhythmic stuff. And then if you start introducing in here some chants, it's going to start self-generating to a degree, right? You know what I mean? Let's remove these. Bring everything back to where it was. You also can just randomize the whole lot. There's a random here. It'll randomize the entire sequence. Randomize. If you want to delete, it's all gone. There's one button to delete. You can delete individual channels as well too. So I just might want to delete all these hats. Gone. Regenerate. Easy. This little one here, this is a ratchet. So if you can add a ratchet to these, you'll get and you can speed up the entire thing. 2 times, half time, 1 time. Don't tap this. Don't tap this thing at the moment. It'll crash the entire thing. All right, another thing I want to talk about. the amount of parameters that are open in this are nuts. Look at it all. Look at all the parameters that are open. Every single fucking thing is open to go. Everything. Wicked, right? So, for example, let's just do a random thing here, right? So, and let's come over to our tonal and we'll put in some, let's just put in some tonal stuff, right? Oh, remember to turn this off. The ratcheting stuff. I'm going to put in some tonal stuff. And on the tonal, if I tap tonal, these are the settings for the tonal, right? The synthesized settings. And you can see the frequency. As I drag this up and down, where's our tonal solo? Come back over here. Right, so as I drag this pitch, so I hope you realize where I'm going with this. You could come in here and throw in an LFO. And listen to that beautiful sound. And we can come in here and find that tonal. Now, I'm pretty sure it's right at the bottom. I think it's all mostly alphabetical. And you can send this anywhere you want. So here we go, tonal. And we're looking for tonal frequency, right? Tonal compression. Oh, there's so many options here. Cowbell, tonal frequency. Here we go. Turn this on. Let's set this to... Oh, we can just set this to number 1, yeah? Right? You following? We good? Then we come over this LFO. Slow this down. And we've got some movement. Now let's bring everything back in. And we can come in here and choose a different sound if we want, right? Change the pulse. So much customization. It's stupid what you can do with this. Let's turn that off for now. Go away. I'm just going to come in here to our sequencer and regenerate. And let's run through some sounds. So these are, I'm just running through presets, and then I want to cover the last thing that I think needs to be fixed. Trust me, you have so much flexibility with this to generate your own sounds. Like, you know, the frequency and decay and harmonics. It's beautiful, beautiful synthesizer. They're not just samples. You can synthesize to your heart's content. And knowing Baby Audio, they're probably going to release some packs going forward, because you can see here in the presets, there's room to add packs, right? So that's always cool, that because that's normally what they do. I'm not saying that's what they're going to do, but all right, you get the idea. The last thing I want to touch on is something that I think needs to be addressed, just in a little bit more detail, because this is... All right, now we talked at the start of the show about how the writing's small and the buttons are small because it's a port from desktop. And, you know, we talked about the limitations of that, but here is something that needs to be sorted, I believe. Let's start with something simple, GarageBand. So here we are in GarageBand. Let's load this as an audio unit, right? So we'll go scroll down. God, it's been a long time since I opened GarageBand. Where are you, Tekno? You're probably right in front of my face. There you are right there. So in a real world, in the world, the thing, what I would expect is if I hit record, I should be able to play these, right? It's not recording anything. There are people out there who want to play the pads. Right? That's how they play. Didn't record anything. There's nothing. There's nothing in there. We need to get that fixed. That needs to be fixed. But if I record using these keys, you can see it's recording the notes in. Right? Or if I use my keyboard, it's recording the notes in. We need to make sure that these pads are able to record notes in too. Now, this isn't a GarageBand specific thing, right? This is, it affects Logic as well too. Now, another thing is with a lot of problems with Logic, a lot of these drum apps, is that the sequences don't tend to record stuff in. And it's a problem, right? And there are some apps allow you to work around it. Hey, Field Tone Audio, great interview the other day as well too. When I load Tekno here, so remember we can do, I showed you how to do MIDI outs. So you got your 16 MIDI outs. When I load Tekno in here, I should be able to play these notes in. I hit record, so my track's armed, I hit record, I should be able to play these pads, right? No, doesn't happen. I know it's small, it sounds like I'm bitching about something, but there's a lot of people who love the tactile. So, and sure, I can come down here and I can choose pads on here if I want. Then I've got to come in and find out which ones do what, but it's a fuck around. It should work, right? That's just the way it is. And I'm not complaining. I think this is a fucking gun app. I love it. So let's be clear on that. Plus the other thing that is not working, we've got a minute to go, is a sequencer, right? So if I put in a sequence in here, set a random sequence, and, you know, of course we hit play and record. It's not going to do it. Now with some drum apps, I can actually come in here to these settings and I can choose MIDI input, internal MIDI, and I can choose an output track and I can get that to work. I think Drum Computer allows me to do that. Now there's a couple of them that let you do that and you can actually use it to get in. Sadly, with this on here, I'm not even able to just load this as a MIDI effect, right? There's no, that's not in here as well. So there's some things I think that can be improved. Mainly the hitting the pads, right? That's the whole reason a lot of people have iPads. Tappity tap. Anyway, don't let those things distract, because this is the thing. We bring these things up, and Baby Audio are a great company who will probably most likely react. You know what I'm saying? That's the way. You can't get angry about it and complain and leave bad reviews. Talk about it. Be happy. And if you don't like this app, guess what? You don't have to fucking buy it. It's that easy. Right. So how much is it again? It's currently on sale for $19.99. It's worth your time. It will go up to around $29.99, I expect. It works on your iPhone, it works on your iPad, and you can get it on the desktop if you've got all the money in the world to spend $100. There you go. And if you want to find more information, head over to the Baby Audio YouTube channel. They've got some great demos on there as well to watch the full thing and see them explain it. But hopefully you got the gist. It's a winner. Great work, Baby Audio. You make great apps. And yeah, you ready to Oge? Let's get out of here for today. Tomorrow we're doing something. We're doing a little bit of a rehash because Medallics re-released Beat Scholar as a mobile version. And it's free. What? Let's talk about that tomorrow because this thing's wicked. I love this app when it first came out, and now it's free. It's sick. Awesome stuff. Oh, there's another thing too I got to tell you as well. There's this. We got a great interview this week with Sisyphus Must Die from Greece. He's an amazing musician. He's got one of the best voices I've heard around in ages. And coming up on Friday, as usual, is Unearthed, where I play you 10 of the best artists I've found online. If you haven't been watching that, we've had great developers sponsoring that show. And this week we've got a musical artist sponsoring the show, Wolfstone Studio. How cool is that? This week, I think there's 12 artists. So look for that. That'll be up soon. I'm going out to do some filming today. Russ has got a premiere happening. And I'm going to send you all over there. So do all the things that make you happy, folks. And if you got a complaint, yell at the clouds. Don't yell at other people. Let's try and get along. All right. See you later.